Hello, 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 hello. You thought we were finished. Well, we're not. Collin, Neill, Luke Scott are back, and this is Sam Houston Sports Talk, the first episode for the podcast. Luke, it's been a weird few weeks, because I graduated from Sam Houston, and for the past 2 years, you and I have talked Sam Houston sports and other sports, and unfortunately, that came to an end at the time. But now we're back and we're on different platforms now. We're doing our own thing. And I asked you if you wanted to do it with me because I was pondering this for like weeks ever since I left. And then I guess one day I woke up, I'm like, I want to ask Luke if he wants to do it. And you said, of course, you know the answer to that. So I did it. So we did it. We launched it on Monday, and now we're here recording our first podcast episode.
Colin, it's so glad to be back. As a current student, we'll graduate here in a little bit, but of course, you miss talking every day, or not every day, but every week. About Sam Houston and being on the student radio. This time, now on our own thing. So we'll see how this goes. I'm excited for the new opportunity, the new adventure. It's gonna be a fun time for sure.
Yeah, I mean, well, to really get things started here, we do have to make some things clear. This isn't just a podcast. This isn't just fan page. I mean, it could be a good mix of both, but it's going to be a lot more than that. We're going to talk deeply and heavily about a lot of things Sam Houston sports. Sometimes there's going to be videos where both of us will appear. It'll either just be me or it'll either be just Luke. We'll do interviews, we'll analyze, we'll talk, and it won't be strictly just to a 2 hour segment of on a radio station. It's going to be on YouTube. So be sure you subscribe and turn on the bells for notifications whenever the uploads come out. And of course, follow us on Twitter/X at Sam Houston ST, and on Instagram and Facebook, just search Sam Houston Sports Talk. So, Luke, just to get started, let's go ahead and recap the 2023-2024 athletic year for Sam Houston Athletics. They wrapped up their first year in Conference USA after baseball lost in the Conference USA tournament. Overall, Luke, a very interesting year. It had a lot of downs, a lot of ups, however, and a lot of things to look forward to in the future.
For sure. And definitely talking about baseball, we were talking before we really started recording. It was the year of what could have been. It felt like, really early on the year, we got that series win against Oklahoma State. And we just kind of felt like, hey, like this team's got something. And you win a couple series early on. And then St. John, I remember that St. John series, went all 3 games, lost the series against them. And since that series, it was just kind of an up and down year. Sometimes starting pitching was great. Sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes the bullpen was great. Sometimes it wasn't. The hitting was off and on. It's just kind of one of those times, one of those seasons that you felt like this team had all the talent in the world. This team had, a real chance to win in Conference USA and try to go far and go into the regionals. Right? It just didn't work out that way. But still, plenty of ups to see on the year. I mean, Walker Yonick just named third team All-American. It's hard to beat that, and to see another Bearcat projected to go in the top round, that's a good thing for us. It's huge for our university. It's huge for him, of course, but also just as a student and alumni base, seeing that recognition, it's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree, but unfortunately, Walker Yonick will not play a fourth season because he is going to get drafted in the first round of the 2024 MLB draft in just about a little bit over a month. Don't know where he's going to go, but he is for sure a surefire first rounder, and he's leaving. And Michael Watson, Colton Atkinson are leaving via graduation. And then you had some key players that are now going to the transfer portal according to 64 Analytics. You have some key players like Malachi Lott, Lane Brewster, and Logan Hewitt that are going to the transfer portal. Don't forget, you also have Chandler David from your bullpen that's going to graduation. Wyatt Tucker is graduating, and perhaps one of your most prominent key players from that 2023 regionals run team is going to be Jake Tatum. He announced his move to the transfer portal yesterday. So you lost a very good bat, and he'll either make a lateral move or he's either going to move up to a power conference baseball wise.
Yeah, I really think he's going to move up here. He did really well for us. Played different positions throughout the year. Hit well. Just did everything that we kind of need him to do. And a couple years ago we saw Anthony McKenzie go to OU and thought, really, like, we didn't think it was that great of a move for him, and then he went to OU. I feel like he could go somewhere like that and actually be a big time player, kind of like a Chadwick type thing. Clayton Chadwick used to play for us, and he goes to Georgia this past year. I feel like it's the same type of move for him that will come. Either a good SEC school, one of the top Big 12 schools that's just around. Maybe he goes up north, but I would assume he's going to stay here in the Southeast. What do you think?
It is. I think I I think he's gonna probably stay down south. I don't think he's gonna move any further north. And whether that's with an SEC school, whether that's a Big 12 school or any other school, you may be on point. Maybe he does move out to a power school, maybe in the Big 12. I would say is more likely because he probably wants to stay in Texas. And I mean, there is also a couple of other teams in Texas that he can go with that are in the SEC. But the thing is, it's just overall for Sam Houston, it's not looking good for 2025. The coaching staff of head coach Jay Sirianni and then coach Jake Carlson, who was hired on last year as a recruiting coordinator. I mean that staff's going to have a tough job this upcoming summer, which just started and is about to really get started once the College World Series ends. Because but they can get some guys in the portal. I mean, you never know. But they also have a lot of young guns coming in into the coming in that were that committed and signed over this past year. So it's probably going to be a very young team. I think it's going to be kind of a rebuilding here. That 20 to 25 wins is probably the benchmark. You probably make it to the Conference USA tournament. That's going to be in Liberty this upcoming season, next year. And you're just going to have to build it off from there and hope that you can develop your guys and get ready for a run in probably in 2 years. Or you never know, Luke, because they could easily just catch fire next year and surprise everyone and go and win the Conference USA tournament.
Yeah, I don't know if there's been a better team. Really surprising, uh, you know, projections, if you will, right, than Sam Houston, especially in baseball. Past few years, we've just been so consistent. Dating back to my freshman year, but even before that, we got to the super regionals a few years before that. Um, and just throughout and last year, we knew we had a good team, but no one thought we were going to be that good. And that's what this coach has been able to do. Head coach Jay Sirianni, really the whole coaching staff, from top to bottom, all the way down to the athletic trainers, right? They have been so good at making the most with what they have. And whether it's recruiting, out of high school or going to the transfer portal, junior colleges, right? It doesn't matter. This team and this club has always found a way, to really stand out and get better. It feels like every year than what you would think they would be, right? And you say projections, 25 wins would be a good season. This year we had 34, right? 34 wins. And, it just feels like that no matter what we do, whatever happens in the transfer portal, we'll just find ways to win games. And we're going to get good batters. We always have, always will, right? Have, these teams, these lineups where we can just bat 1 through 9 and play really well. It's all pitching for me personally, the bullpen. But, I'm excited to see what comes up this new year. It's going to be a new chapter because that old guard is finally kind of uh, is now gone, right? If you will, with like Yannick, that's kind of held over for the past few years. Chadwick last year. I mean, it's just a new era for this team. So I'm excited to see Colton Atkinson. He's going to be graduating, right? Or does he have one more year because of the COVID?
He is graduating.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big loss right there. So will Chandler David.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of losses for sure this upcoming for after this season. I mean, I mean, 2023 is just a special team. The offense was amazing, and you had dogs that came in from the portal, like David, for example, and you have got two guys that got drafted, and Joe Redfield and Justin Wiskowski, and then you had Tyler Davis, who was having a remarkable grad year. He signed a pro ball at Oakland Ballers alongside Miles Jefferson, the shortstop, and Tyler Davis got his contract purchased the Chicago White Sox. Haven't heard much about what's going on over there, but I'm sure he's in the minor leagues right now, and he'll probably find his way up to the major league roster soon because the White Sox
I think he's
are
in. I think he was in
very
high
good.
A.
Yeah, I maybe I haven't checked in over the past few days. They haven't have his they don't have his picture up for some reason. So, I mean, I could be wrong. So, um, and we have Walker Yannick, who's gonna go first round pick and this year. So for Sam Houston baseball, this upcoming season is just basically going to be what you have, and I'm still going to be I'm still going to watch. I'm still going to watch. I think Sam Houston baseball throughout its history has, like I've always said, it's been the most consistent winning program when it comes to that to an athletic program. So, but now shifting to kind of football, I guess you can say our stadium. Uh, over these past few weeks, it has basically gotten a facelift on the field. The turf is completely gone. The track's almost gone. I went on Wednesday. Had to go to Huntsville for other obligations. It I stopped by and I looked, and it's pretty much the same thing, except there's a lot of dirt and there's still some drilling going on. But Luke, what I'm concerned is the the rain that has been coming through the area for the past several weeks. It has been just downpour after downpour, and it seems like they come out of nowhere sometimes. And when I was there was still some standing water. I mean, Luke, there's some cause of concern. Will this field be ready by July 31st when the football players come back for training camp?
Yeah, you hope so. Um, you and I have both worked in construction a little bit. It sucks working in the rain, and when it rains, you don't want to work, and no work ever gets done when it's raining outside. But you're right. I was driving back from the Austin area to Huntsville yesterday, and all of a sudden it's just rain out of nowhere, and it rained for a good hour and a half coming to Huntsville from the College Station. It kind of went a little south of us, but we still got a clip up here. But these rains really have projected an issue, man. I hope it's done, by August at least, but it's tough to ask. I know the track is going to be an ongoing theme, if you will. A lot of Bearcat fans for a long time have been trying to tell the athletic program to get rid of that track around the field, and finally they did. Hopefully, by their deadline, the field comes in, but honestly, I don't think I'm that optimistic about it. Hopefully, they're back until the season starts. That would be the ideal situation, but um, I don't know. Practices might have to be held out at the intramural fields this year. I don't know.
Yeah, they held some kind of camp. I don't remember what it's exactly called, but they had it at the newly like renovated IM fields that are by Josie Field right behind Sterling Union. And I mean, nice field to be. It's a nice place to be fair, but it's not for an FBS team to be practicing on. That's for sure.
No, that's an intramural league. That's a beer league field. I mean, that's exactly what that is. I mean, it's a tough look on the team right there, I must say.
Yeah. And we will discuss football a lot more to build up towards uh, the Sam Houston Bearcats' second season in Conference USA, where they're full-fledged eligible for bowl. The transition's over with after this past season. And Luke, the Bearcats football still had to make a lot of moves over this past couple of months. They brought them some good transfers. They hired some coaches, especially Coach Richmond, who's the new defensive line coach. You got some transfers that are coming in. There's a quarterback battle that is seemingly going on. I mean, Luke, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's still going to be determined up towards kickoff. I think we're going to be in the same situation with quarterback this year as last year, where who is going to be your starter? And it's going to be between either Jace Bauer or Grant Gunnell.
I've heard a lot of good things about Bauer from sources around the team. Feels like he's been throwing the ball well. When you're talking about this recruiting and all these transfers that are coming, I'm really excited about this. We got a new running back from Memphis here coming, and you know a little bit more about him. But really excited about what this team can be. I've seen a few things around Twitter and rumblings around social media overall that we could be maybe a little bit of a dark horse in Conference USA.
It's interesting, Luke, because I've seen a lot of like Sam Houston is gonna be it because Sam Houston returned a lot of players from last year. Like I saw something about I saw something a graphic earlier of the team with the most incoming transfers. And surprise, surprise, I mean, not really. It's Colorado with 41 players that are coming in to Colorado
A
for this
lot.
season. That and in my opinion, Luke, that is not a good thing. But for Sam Houston, they have retained a lot of talent from last year. They're going to have some guys come back that had dealt with injuries last year. You got also a new offensive line coach who I've heard great things. You have a new strength coach. I've heard great things. I mean, their main priority this spring, Luke, was getting stronger and more physically uh ready because FBS football is just on a much more physical level than FCS.
It is. It is. And we saw that front row and center, right? On national TV, in person, every week. It was, wow, Sam Houston, our guys are smaller, slower, just not as big, right, and athletic as all these other teams. And late in the year, you could kind of see us kind of, hit that gap and really start taking it to other teams later on. But we were 0-8, right? So, but finished the season well. But all these new transfers, these recruits. I mean, when you're at the FBS level, you have to recruit differently. You have to go, against what you've been doing for the past, 20, 30 years, right? You got to do something different that's going to work in a different league. It's a different league, pretty much, right? I mean, it's very much kind of like in European soccer. You have the Premier League, and then you have the Championship, right? It's very different. Not saying the Championship teams aren't very good; they are great teams, but you're just on a different level now. It's very similar to that. The players, the quality that you have to be faster and more physical. And I like what we're moving. I like that Sam Houston is really making an effort to be a program that stands out and is not just going to be trying to get pushed around there for a long time. We're going to start taking it to some other teams, which is good, right? Conference USA is a relatively weak conference. I would say right now, just because of all the new the shifting that's been going on this past few years within the conferences. This is a great time to make your name known and to really state your claim and get on top of that mountain.
Speaking of Conference USA and names, a few hours before we decided to record, before we got on, Conference USA has been rumored to be looking at a naming rights deal with companies, the most rumored being Globe Life, to be the naming rights sponsor for the conference. And this came immediately after the Big 12 was also going to be looking for a naming rights partner, is mainly with Allstate. And there's been a whole bunch of memes about it. It's been hilarious to look at. But Luke, this just comes to show what college football is slowly becoming. It's starting to become like the NBA, in my opinion, and the NFL, where ads are just the name of the game.
Collin, it's a professional league now. I mean, that's really what it is. These players are getting paid. Um, everyone is getting. There's more money involved everywhere. Whether it's TV deals, video games now with the rights with the new NCAA game. I mean, there's just money getting thrown left and right out. Um, it's a professional league now. That's just what it is. And what I don't understand is how does the news get leaked from the Big 12? And as soon as that's out, Conference USA is like the second conference right there.
It's also
I
very
mean,
funny. It's also very funny to know that Conference USA has an official pickle sponsor.
I had no
Sucker
idea.
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch Pickles,
Yeah.
the Sucker Punch Pickle Conference USA.
Yeah, or Sucker Punch Conference.
Would they change the whole conference name?
See, that's the thing I'm curious about. Is it gonna be like sucker the is it gonna be like, since it's a Globe Life that's um been the main sponsor that's been rumored, is it gonna be called the Globe Life Conference USA? Is it gonna be Globe Life Conference, or is it gonna be some other
Or
crazy
the
name?
Conference USA presented by Globe Life, right?
Yeah, that yeah, I could see that. I mean, the thing is like the more acceptable part of naming rights was with their conference tournaments, like the conference tournaments for the Conference USA was sponsored by Super One Foods. So and
Yeah.
of course, when Sam Houston was in the WAC for those years, it was the Hercules Tires uh sponsor. So those were more
Yeah, like
acceptable,
Big 12 was the Phillips 66.
or Dr. Pepper for a couple of years.
Right.
And so, but Luke, the college landscape is just it's just becoming much more of a parody now more than ever.
And that's what happens when money is involved, as much as it is. I mean, you can't knock the smaller conferences. Um, as soon as the big time, the Power Four right now release this, and the leftovers, right? The Conference USA's, the Americans, they got to get their money somewhere, right? And so it makes sense why they would do this. But it's a definite adjustment. It's a weird thing, but I mean, again, you look at kind of like the soccer, right? You had the Barclays Premier League there for a long time. Right now, I don't know what it is now. I mean, it's like I think it's just like Premier League, but I mean, there is a corporate sponsor for that. So why can't there be for college? I don't know. I don't know if I'm a fan of it, but it's probably inevitable.
And this is why I don't fault Conference USA at all. I think Conference USA realizes, hey, these bigger conferences, the Power Fours are are now doing this. If we want to keep up, we have to do the same thing. And I think that's the
Yeah.
thought process behind Conference USA. I think they saw the writing on the wall, and I think they just wanted to jump ahead and try to stay at in a way at the same level as these Power Four conferences when it comes to sponsorships. I mean, not going to compete them with NIL deals or TV money deals, but you're going to have to find some ways to work with what you have in in order to keep up with them.
All right. So the thing is that if this deal gets through, right? If Globe Life, Conference USA, or whatever gets, whatever sponsorship gets through the naming rights, they better get this thing done before we put in this new field. Because I would hate to have the Velcro situation or the spray paint, or we have to spray paint it on the floor on the turf, and it'll look just awful for on TV.
Oh
I would hate to
gosh.
have that. We need to get this thing done right now. That way we know how to put it in this new turf.
I mean, maybe it's going to be a spray paint thing. I think because it's easier. It's honestly a lot more effective than just putting a whole bunch of turf down, like cutting it out and everything, and just putting a new turf down. And the thing is, Luke, we have no idea yet what Bowers is going to look like. We have no idea what the new turf's going to look like, so we still have that to take into account for. So, but it's still, I mean, college football's still a little over 2.5 months away. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, and I think it's going to be interesting to see what Conference USA does. But in my opinion, just to wrap that conversation up, I think they're making the right move to try to keep up with the Power Four when it comes to naming rights with the conference. We may not like it, but that's how it is.
That's right. That's right. If you don't change, you'll get eaten. Right? You'll be lost. So you got to go and roll with the punches. And hopefully it sticks. Right? Maybe they come up with something funny. Maybe it's not just like Globe Life insurance. Maybe it's something uh, kind of catchy. Now,
Catchy.
hmm, like I mean, I'm trying to think of like a really patriotic brand.
A page.
Uh,
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
something, but like that's like fireworks, like Black Cat, Conference
Ooh.
USA. That'd be pretty cool. No ads, no free ads, but
No free ads. No free ads. It was reported by Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports, by the way. Um, he says that one of the companies under consideration is Globe Life. Possible new league names include Globe Life Conference USA or Globe Life Conference. So yeah, put that tweet up on the screen for
what if it was,
our viewers.
what if it was Jack Daniels Conference USA?
Oh man. Um,
No way they would do that. No way they could do that, right?
I don't know. He's also sent this out. Conference USA officials have spent months in deep discussion about a naming rights deal, and there is wide support, quote unquote, Ross Dellinger's words, not mine, within the conference for such a move. Sources told Yahoo Sports, and he also ends off with saying a deal could be finalized within the next year. So it ain't gonna happen soon. It's probably gonna be after this football season is over, or after this whole conference athletic year is over.
Yeah, yeah. It's just kind of whenever they want to, when they feel comfortable with it. I don't know. I'm sure one of the big conferences will do it first, and then everyone will follow after that. And Conference USA will just kind of be one of those followers. But maybe not. Maybe not. That'd be pretty cool though.
Yeah,
It'd just be interesting.
yeah. Well,
It'd be a definite change that you just have to get used to.
yeah. Oh, I agree, and of course, it's gonna, like I said, it's like I say with everything, especially in college sports these days. Time is the factor, and time will tell with everything. And
Did you see the video of Texas with all the recruits?
uh, the
Or
Lamborghinis.
was it? It was like the Lambos, yeah, all sitting out.
No, what was that guy who said, man, college sports was so much better when it was all under the table, when we all didn't know.
Yeah,
Man,
I saw
it's
a really funny meme about Pitino, Rick Pitino with the hookers at
oh man.
Louisville or the strippers. It was like, man, it was much better whenever it was with the as you could see from where that would be going.
Yeah. Oh man. No, college sports is such a parody right now, and you know, but hey, I guess the more parody, the more eyes that are on the sports are on the college sports, especially with Sam Houston being in such a good spot to where they can be in the national spotlight a lot more likely than they would be if they were in the WAC or or in the Southland.
Collin, did you see the Southlands rumor for the corporate partnership, the naming rights?
Is it like Bucky's or heck, is it going to be like Whataburger or whatever?
I saw one on Twitter. It was the Visit Lake Charles.com Southland Conference.
I mean, you still got to hand it to the
Oh,
Southland either way. They're probably the most regionally accurate conference.
that is true. That is true. Well, what if you think one of these big casinos would
Yes.
get involved in it?
Yes, yes. No, absolutely. You know why? Because the NBA invited that to happen. The league's literally sponsored by FanDuel.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised if a sports book decided to try to sponsor a conference. I mean, DraftKings did put out a tweet saying, "Oh, if this tweet gets 20,000 likes, we'll sponsor the Big 12 conference."
Like the Bet MGM Big Ten, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
I don't know if Notre
definitely
Dame could pull something like that. I don't know.
definitely no conflict of interest.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, Luke, I think we can leave it off at that note for our first episode. You know, it's good to be back. Sam Houston Sports Talk. Um, like I said, please follow us on Twitter/X at Sam Houston ST and on Facebook and Instagram. For those two, you just search Sam Houston Sports Talk. And of course, subscribe and hit that bell button on YouTube. Luke, it's great to be back.
It is. I'm ready. I'm already ready for this new athletic season coming up. I can't wait for football. I can't wait for the new season to start up. The new conferences, the new NCAA game, right? All these new things that are popping up for the first time in a long time. It can't not be excited with St. Houston involved in everything, right? So, uh, got more national TV games this year. Going to try to make my way out to Bowers maybe a few times. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm very excited for where this thing could go.
Absolutely. And there's gonna be a lot of talk over the summer to get you guys ready for the new football season. Where I'm definitely thinking of trying to get some interviews lined up and also diving into an analysis of the football schedule and the roster. And as we go on, we will provide our predictions as to how we think the football season is going to go. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to do over the summer, and I am glad that we are in a position to do this because if we did, of course, we if we didn't attend Sam Houston, we would not even think of doing this. But due to what we've done at 90.5 KSHU, shout out Professor Jonathan Reed, of course, for giving us that platform for the past 2 years. You know, I was just I was just like, you know what, I don't want to stop doing it. I want to keep it going, and we are gonna keep it going.
Hey, who knows how far this could go?
Hey, you never know. So why don't you tell your friends? Why don't you tell your family? Why don't you tell some strangers? You know, we're trying to go worldwide on this. Okay.
Well, we've already been worldwide
Okay.
on the
Okay.
radio show.
Yeah, we've been worldwide before. That's fair. Yeah. Shout out beer nuts. So, but but yeah, Luke, I'm ready to wrap this up. I'm ready to get down, typing, clicking, editing, dragging, exporting, and all that good stuff. So, and It's going to be fun, and I can't wait to keep it going. That was Luke Scott. I'm Collin Neill. This has been our episode 1 of the Sam Houston Sports Talk podcast. More comes your way over the summer. Updates, once again, on all our social media outlets, Twitter/X, Instagram, and Facebook. And as always, eat 'em up, cats. We'll see y'all next time.
This has been a podcast from Sam Houston Sports Talk. Any tweets, videos, or pictures used in this podcast or any other videos are used for journalistic purposes. Copyright infringement is not intended. Music was provided by and purchased from Infraction Music. This is Sam Houston Sports Talk, your home for all the Bearcat talk.